Hello everyone, welcome to Ring Diaries here at Church of Uganda Family TV with me Fiona Mboa, where we talk about anything and everything to do with marriage. We use this program to just share experiences and see how we can make our marriages better. There's no expert really, we all just learn from each other. You can be shocked how much you can learn from someone of one man, yet you've been married for so long. So we're here to just share experiences and to see how we make our marriages a better place and the way God aligned them to be. This evening we're going to talk about the effect of marriage on churches, on marriages. And to share with me that interesting topic is Mrs. Sylvie Rona Tukala Nganwa, who's been married for 16 years this December.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And next to Sylvie, we have Josephine Kidza, who's been married for 18 years. So I think in this topic, they're not experts, but I think this one's experts. With 34 years of marriage between them, I think that is a good experience. You're very welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
18 years, Josephine. 18 years. What was it like? Do you remember what it was like that day?
Yes, it was exciting. Exciting, but again on that day there were a lot of tears because I was leaving my mom as a last born. So I had mixed feelings. Will I be okay? Will they take care of me very well as a last born?
Even your last born?
Yes.
You act like a first born. Anyway.
I'm telling you.
So, but I knew because it was church marriage, I was confident that the Lord will take me through.
Interesting. So church marriage. So we're all counting actually these years from church marriage, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why church, Rona?
Why church?
Why church?
The Bible tells us that, God started everything. Everything was begun by God. So you cannot take away your genesis from the one that started your life. Everything that we see, everything that we perceive, its generation, its starting point must be Christ. Even marriage, even marriage, the person that will relate with Christ and the church is the same way that husband and wife are supposed to relate. So it has to be church, definitely.
So it has to be church. At least it's essential in that way.
Yes, very, very.
So what effect does church have on our marriage? Should it even have an effect on our marriages for starters, Josephine?
It does, because as Rona said, he ordained. His intention was for husband, like a man, to live and cling on with a woman. So it was intentional, a design from God. So it is a beautiful thing that he had intentions. He knew what he was doing. And he says in his creation that he said all things he had created was good.
So marriage was good because he created it.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a respect of family. He is a respect of family. So that's why he places us into family. And marriage does not just happen. Marriage is a family union. Yeah.
Such in the beginning of families. Marriage.
Yeah.
So to what extent should we allow church in our marriages? Should we just stop at the wedding and you have done your part, please go now. It is me and you. Either of you can answer really.
No. You cannot walk any journey. They say that it's best to walk journey in either twos or threes. So if you're married, you need someone to be accountable to. Yeah? So you cannot say that now it is just me and my husband, we don't need the rest of you. That is why we have the church. In church we have friends. As the children of God we are. The church is a collection of children of God. So once you get married, you need those accountable partners. People that can stand with you to pray. People that you can run to in case things are going south. People that can lift you, to celebrate with you the achievements. So you cannot walk just the two of you and reject the rest just because now we are done. We need
They've
no
given
one.
me their certificate. Let me go
No,
live
no,
my
no, no.
life.
Church remains at the center of it all. Christ remains at the center of our marriages. It's very important.
Stephen, do you think so?
Yes, I really give it 100%. I would say church establishes a marriage. And establishment means you have an address. Establishment means there's somewhere they can find you. Today you are not in Masaka, the other day in Kabale, the other day in Jinja. Church gives a marriage a permanent address. It establishes us because that's where we can be found when there are challenges. You run there. When it is a celebration, you run there. When you need accountability, you run there. Establishment is a very powerful word because you can find anyone there. You can find Mr. and Mrs. in that place. But also church has priests. Has priests. We see Numbers. God himself chose Aaron to lead. He anointed him to be a leader, and he was in charge of the souls of the Israelites. And that's why the church, it has pastors, it has priests, it is an establishment for our marriages, that in the happy times, we run back. In the good times, we run back. We cannot do without a church. Any marriage, any happy marriage, it's so hard to be established without a church.
So, when you bring up something, you mean I cannot be today I'm praying from Matoto, tomorrow I'm going to St. Luke's, next Sunday I'm going to St. Stephen's, the other Sunday. What's wrong with that? I mean, I'm still going to church.
Thank you so much.
You're moving
It
around
is a
yourself.
dangerous thing. I would call it a thing. I can't give it a name. Because, again, when you are moving from church to church, you fail to see where they can find you. You are not established.
Okay.
You are not. Today they will look for you here, tomorrow there. It will be so hard, and it has so many challenges. Because you are shifting with your children, you are shifting with your husband, with your wife. So it is better to be established in a church. Even when times comes when you have to change a church as a family, do it together with your children, with your husband, in agreement, and be established still. For example, if you need to, God has spoken, you've been in this church for 20 years, and the Lord has spoken to your family, you need to go to another church.
Yeah.
It is okay. Just make a conversation with your family, because it's the most important one. Not even your pastor. Your husband, your children, your household.
Yeah.
Tell them, next year we are going to a certain church. God is sending us there. And then to the church you've been, tell them, say bye to them. Let them bless you. Go with your family again in that one church and be established. You'll be safe. Your children will be safe. Yourself will be safe and secure.
What happens if the person refuses to go with me?
What happens? Well, I'm still so much into what just finished sharing. But we should also be aware that sometimes we are led to go in separate churches because of unavoidable circumstances. One, let's say he works in Juba and I'm working from Kampala. Won't he just go to church because I'm this side?
We shall be meeting in the middle.
Yeah, so the most important thing is that you go to a church that nourishes you and your marriage. That you find those circles in church that can nourish your marriage. And you still remain accountable to each other where you are and where you're serving, just in case your relationship is a distant relationship. It is very important. You should not have any reason or excuse of, hey, my wife is in Kampala, I'm this side of Juba, so I will not go to church. I will not be established, because you have to be established together as a family. So you end up getting lost and confused. It is very important. Once you say I do, you just need to remain in a church because that is where we are guided. We are guided that husband, be the head of your family. Husband, love your wife. You are not going to just hear those words in bars. You're not going to find those words where you play tennis from. You need to go to a church where men of God will show you the living example of their marriages and you admire. You need to attend the marriage meetings and then admire the testimonies of people, because sometimes we can be in our marriages and we are far drifted from each other because of small things. Because of some small things. But if you go and you're in church in a meeting of marriage and people are saying so many things that but they're still together, they've still held on to each other, you are nourished, you're motivated, you are encouraged that actually a marriage can work. But out there, I don't know what people talk about marriage out there. I'm just certain that in a bar, when a man would say, my wife is disturbing me, they would say, leave her, get another one.
Yes.
Women are many.
If she's disturbing,
if she's disturbing you. But you cannot find that in church, because no one fails to fault. We all fault in our way. But who are the people that are speaking into your life? Church is a safe place, like Josephine has said. It is a very safe place where people will not look for your separation, but they're always looking for means to bring you back together, no matter the hardships, no matter the challenges. They'll still say, hold on, hang on, hold on, let's pray about it, hold on, what is Jesus saying about it, hold on. So people will be, you will only find support staff, support team that builds you up into your marriage to just become better and better. And in case you're walking a difficult journey, they'll still walk it with you in encouragement, because we find our peace, our joy in Christ. Out there, the joy is there, but it is short-lived. You can go and cheat, but it is short-lived. Where do you find peace? You find peace in your house. That is why when you're entering into spaces that are not okay, you want to even hide. You want to wear masks. You want to cover your head. You want to put on shades, because that is not where you're supposed to be. But when you enter into a church space with fellow marrieds, you walk with your head up, with your wife in your hand, by your side, because you're proud that that is what makes you as a family. So the best place to be is a church. Though Fiona, I'll still talk about the challenges over being in church, and then you forget about your marriage. So it is
we'll get to that.
It is two-way.
It's two-way. There's not too much of everything.
Too much of everything.
Back to the thing you're talking about, Josephine. As I had asked, if you're called to leave a church and your spouse refuses, what do you do?
Myself, what I would do. First, I would pray about it, because I think marriage is a very important thing.
Yes, it is.
That issue, I have to make sure that I protect every issue that comes in between my marriage. I would pray about it for God's grace. Then I would ask God to give me a good environment to communicate it with my husband. But also in that prayer, I would pray that the Lord will speak to my husband. And I would ask for good environment and a beautiful conversation. First of all, I need to give him reasons why. I need to give him reasons why. Is it the Lord who said, or it is my feeling, or I'm not comfortable?
I need another child.
Yes, that is a very, very sensitive thing in marriage, and I think it is happening. But you asked in case. It is me, Josephine. I would pray, ask for a good conversation. Maybe I would also carry someone with me to really tell him, convince him, because at the end of the day, my husband is the very most important person. If he buys it, that would be good. Still, I would do the right thing. Ask him, we go to our pastor where we've been. Talk to him, say bye to him very well. Blesses us with our children, with our family, and then we go. But when he refuses, still I need to be patient with his decision. because at the end of the day, in my marriage, even
Is
a
that
pastor doesn't come to my house, even a priest. I honor him as my priest, as my pastor, but when it comes to marriage, which was ordained by God, I need to make sure that it works.
But what's wrong with praying from different churches?
Praying from different churches, my sister Ron has just even talked about it. Some, they are very different teachings. The doctrines are different. Some churches even allow married people to pray up to 6. Yet you have to go home, prepare for your children, have lunch with your wife. Some churches allow marrieds to serve up to 7. Yet they are married on a
7 p.m.
Sunday. They go 7 in the morning, they leave 7.
You got 6.
They go 6 and leave
6. They leave late.
They're serving God.
They are serving God, but the most important ministry to me is marriage.
Unless you're serving together. It's okay. You can be serving together in a ministry and you're required to be there at 6 a.m. because
So
you're
you both go
leaders,
at
you both
6.
go together, you pray, you do your leadership roles, maybe there are different services that you're required to be there because they've given you a reason to serve in that church.
Okay.
And you've taken it up as a couple and you're willing to serve. You do that until when God says, okay, now time for yourselves. I believe that some churches, you cannot just go late. You're required to be there early because you're the leaders. You set the precedence, you set the pace. If the leaders are late, it is just between you and your husband.
Yes, Rana.
Yes,
it's
if
a beautiful thing.
if you're called,
But
you have
Is it
lunch
also
together.
Right? Even if it's
You are
just the
serving
two of
together.
It is beautiful to serve together. I do serve with my husband.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, we have to balance. For example, if you know that it is the Sunday that you have, other days children are going to school. Now, for example, it's holiday time. That seasons where they're holiday, and you need to compromise. You don't need to go. Maybe you go early in the morning, and then you spend maybe 5 hours at church or 6, and then you come.
I'll never forget a man of God who said that I don't know how true it is, but it depends. If God has sent you and has called you for that purpose in that season, you cannot say, I need time to rest, Fiona. There is a soul that is going to die. There is a soul that is going to perish
because you have not from 6
It's
to
not about
7.
staying. What if the person you're going to impact is coming at 3? I'm not saying it's good to stay at church all through, but what I'm saying is that once you agree, it's okay. The
As long as
challenge
you're doing
comes
it
in, yes,
together.
as you might not even be doing it together, but you have agreed that God has placed this burden on my heart to serve and do this. If you agree, mark my words.
If you agree.
Yes, if you agree, then I have to be there in all those services to do what I have to do and make sure God's people are cherished, rather nourished. Then I can go home. Most of the times we give God one day, that is a Sunday. I'm just thinking loudly. That is the day when we go to church and serve God like wholeheartedly from morning 6 to. But if it's going to happen from Monday to Sunday, then that's different. But if you're giving God your whole day, that Sunday, please, Fiona, don't call me. It is between me and God and His people. I don't know. I think it's
agree.
okay.
May I add on something?
Yes, please.
It is, I think, it's all about agreement.
Yeah.
You and your husband. But you were asking, what are the effects? I mean,
What are the effects?
what are the effects of going to different churches?
Yes.
As I said, different churches teach different things, and different churches believe in different things as well. And to me, the most important thing is, again, establishment. The children are going to be divided. It will be so hard. The parenting will be very hard because the children are going, so they have to divide sometimes. They're going with mommy, they're going with daddy, and today at church there's a different program. Today at church there's another program. So they are going to be conflicting. Mommy said at lunchtime we need to gather as young people. Daddy said in the morning we have a young people's prayer meeting or games.
This week we are fasting at this church.
Yes.
Next week at the other church.
Yes, and the Bible still says, how can two walk together unless they agree? Already the children are going to be confused because they're going to be actually become even insecure. because they don't know what is going to happen after 5 years at home. That is daddy going to still stay in that church? Or here the pastor is preaching so well, is reaching our hearts. No, daddy, your pastor is boring.
And
So
they
we
know how to make
cannot,
those
at the end of the
comments.
day, rebellion has started in the house. Unknowingly. Little as they are, rebellion is coming, conflict is coming, and already it is building on them. Because remember, in these families, why are we focusing? Why is family TV focusing on families? So that the families may be strong. Because we need to leave a legacy. One day, some of us will be to our father, and the children we are raising right now are going to be growing, teaching, marrying. What are we showing them? So because we need to leave a legacy, it will be challenging for children to be put this side, other children this side, and I would recommend, again, we should have a conversation and agree to fellowship in one church.
But then, Josephine, someone will ask, we grew up when our fathers were not going to church, and it's just mommy going to church, and we are all right. What do we do?
We cannot be all right. Myself,
I know.
we cannot. Yes, they will say they're all right.
But are they really?
But when you
No,
put a
there's a lot
child who has grown with his father and mother, serving in the same church, going to the same church, and still a child there who the parents have different churches,
Oh,
there
none at
will be
all.
a difference.
So we think we're okay, but we are not.
We are
It's
not.
just psychological.
Just
That's
psychological.
being okay.
We are not. Because that is against God's word.
I also want to remind us, that what if, I'm just throwing the question back.
Yes.
What if I'm working for a certain organization that has a church and I'm mandated to pray with them? And my husband has a church where he works and is mandated to pray with them. So what
So
do you
both
think?
people work at two
Yeah,
different churches.
God has blessed you with a job. Are you going to? Is one of us supposed to quit the job? Or what are we supposed to do as a couple?
We are going to take a short break, and we're going to come back to that very exact
Yeah.
question. As you also think about it, by the what is the situation at your home? Are you praying together? Is church affecting you in any way at all, or you left it at the I do's and then you walked off? Don't go away. I'm Fiona Mbowa here, Church of Uganda Family TV with Ring Diaries.